Like us on Facebook. Contact us on WhatsApp. Subscribe our YouTube channel and watch our videos.
ما كان محمد أبا أحد من رجالكم ولكن رسول الله وخاتم النبيين وكان الله بكل شيء عليما. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يسأله من في السماوات والأرض كل يوم هو في شأن فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان سنفرغ لكم أيها الثقلان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يا معشر الجن والإنس إن استطعتم أن تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانفذوا لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يرسل عليكما شواظ من نار ونحاس فلا تنتصران فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فإذا انشقت السماء فكانت وردة كالدهان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيومئذ لا يسأل عن ذنبه إنس ولا جان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يعرف المجرمون بسيماهم فيؤخذ بالنواصي والأقدام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah wa barakatuhu. I hereby extend my salam to all the participants who have attached with this program and who are in the panel. Ladies and gentlemen, this program we are conducting in English language actually. We are very lucky enough that we find ourselves actually lucky that today we will listen a lecture delivered by Pai Saba and with the title Revelation of the Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani about Muhammadi Begum. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani prophesied about his marriage with Muhammadi Begum, and he prophesied that this has been decided in the heavens. And when this was not successful, he again prophesied that the husband of the said lady will die after 3 years, I think. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be hosting the program, and at the end of the program, we will take calls of highly esteemed guests, and then supplication will be offered by Shamsuddin Bhai. Actually, as a matter of fact, I got a telephone call just about 15 minutes ago that you will host the program today. So I just switched on my laptop and started my talk. I would request Pai Seba that I welcome her wholeheartedly and request that she would come and start her lecture. Pai Seba, Assalamu alaikum. I welcome you wholeheartedly and request you to start your lecture, please. Thank you.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Yes.
All right. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani, the resident of Qadian and the so-called inspired, the so-called prophet of Ahmadiyya sect, Ahmadiyya religion, always boasted about many things throughout his life. One of his famous most revelation inspirations was regarding his matrimonial relationship with Muhammadi Begum, who was a lady from the clan of Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani's distant paternal cousin. Interestingly, and owing to his cunning disposition, Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani associated his desire or lust with the holy inspiration. Nauzubillah. At page 572 of his famous book, Aina Kamalat-e Islam, he narrated, God directed me through revelation that I should seek the hand of his elder daughter in marriage and should tell him that he should first establish a relationship with me and then should get light from my light. And Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani was so sure to receive a negative response from Mirza Ahmed Beg, the father of Muhammadi Begum, that he added some juice to the revelation in the following words. In the upcoming para, he says, I was also directed to tell him that I had been commanded to let him have the land which he had asked for, and even some more land, and to show benevolence towards him in many ways, provided he would agree to the marriage of his elder daughter to me. But still, Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani was so depressed about the fate of his revelation that he started threatening the family of Mirza Ahmed Beg or Muhammadi Begum. And he threatened them of the grave consequences that they could have faced in case his proposal was not accepted. So at the very next page, he stated, but if he did not agree to it, I was to warn him that I had been informed by God that her marriage to anyone else would not prove blessed for the person she marries, nor for her father. The same rhythm, the same philosophy behind each and every revelation. In fact, Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani had a set pattern of quoting the things. He claimed something to have been revealed from Allah Almighty. Then he announced bounties as a stimulating factor. And even if the subjects were not convinced, then warning them and threatening them was his favorite hobby. Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani further declared that if someone else marries Muhammadi Begum, he would die within 3 years. This has been stated at the same page in the following words. He would be afflicted with misfortunes culminating in his death. He would die within 3 years of the marriage. Indeed, his death might occur earlier at a time when he is unaware. So, after such a horrible statement by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, a so-called prophet of Qadian, there could have been retaliation by the future in-laws of Muhammadi Begum. But we must salute not only the family of Muhammadi Begum, but also the in-laws of Muhammadi Begum, as they were so determined, having very strong belief in Allah Almighty, that they neither bored nor were frightened by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. Rather, they faced all the consequences with full courage. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani published many advertisements and banners on the subject. I think he was trying to do so in an effort to discourage the innocent and pious lady. He threatened her family, he threatened the father of Muhammadi Begum, and even he threatened his own family. The family members, like his wife and his son and his daughter-in-law, because all of them were having very good relationship with the family of Muhammadi Begum. And even Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani directed his son to divorce his wife, or else his wife would get consent to the proposal being close to the family of the Muhammadi Begum. And interestingly, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani even declared this marriage to be eternal destiny that could not change, and said that Muhammadi Begum has been tied in the holy knot of nikah with him by the Almighty Allah Himself. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi rajiun. And this has been stated at page 128 of Tazkira. Now, let me summarize what we have discussed up till now, so that we may move to some logical conclusion. First of all, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani claimed that he proposed Muhammadi Begum as per the direction and will of Almighty Allah. Secondly, he then coveted the father of Muhammadi Begum land that he desired and even more bounties. Then he warned the family to accept the proposal, otherwise they would face misfortunes. He even threatened the family that both the father and the husband of Muhammadi Begum would die in case she is married to someone else. And then this matrimony was destined and no one would be able to hinder his intentions. Rather, he said that Allah Almighty will remove each and every factor that could hinder so. And then he declared that this matrimony would become a sign of his truthfulness. And finally, all his opponents would be let down by Allah Almighty. And finally, he declared that in case this revelation turns down, it would falsify the words and revelations of Allah Almighty. Astaghfirullah. So let me conclude. Though it was a planned series of spiritual blackmailing by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, but it did not discomfit the family. The believers did not turn down after facing such turbulence and the hurly-burly. Alhamdulillah. Muhammadi Begum got married to Mirza Sultan Ahmad, and had a blessed family afterwards. And by the grace of Almighty, her husband remained healthy and alive long time after the death of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani kept on proclaiming that the nikah, this matrimony, as a spiritual knot, but it is evident that it was only a spiritual blackmailing tactic. Rather, a fiction claimed as a spiritual plot. And after knowing the whole scenario, the whole scheme, I'm sure I'm just justified to raise a few questions for the Ahmadi brethren and sisters. Question number 1. If this was inspired by Allah Almighty that Muhammadi Begum would be married to Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, then why did Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, the so-called inspired, fail to do so? Question number 2. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani declared that falsification of the said inspiration would ultimately falsify the revelations of Allah or the words of Allah. Nauzubillah. Do you people agree? And how would you justify the prophecy of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani then? Or would you believe in false revelations towards your so-called prophet? Question number 3. Reportedly, the Almighty Allah, while revealing this prophecy to Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, also said that La tabdila li kalimatillah. You would not find any change in the words of Allah. So, was it then possible that the situation could turn against Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, thus falsifying the words of Almighty Nauzubillah? Question number 4. What happened to the revealed promises of afflicting the family with misfortunes? Question number 5. The ultimate matrimonial relationship of Muhammadi Begum with the Qadiani was reportedly an eternal destiny that could not be altered or changed. Then why did this not happen? Question number 6. Why did the God of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani leave him alone? Why was Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani let down by his opponents? Question number 7. Why were the words of the God of Mirza Qadiani falsified? Question number 8. Is it ethical to disgrace a woman in Islam by mentioning her in advertisements and banners? Question number 9. Is it justified or ethical to claim that a married woman will become widow and then she will remarry me after being widowed? And finally, question number 10. Why did the husband of Muhammadi Begum live long despite so many revelations by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani's God? Tilka asharatin kamila. And finally, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani at page 31 of Ruhani Khazain, volume 11, declared that this revelation regarding the son-in-law of Mirza Ahmad Beg would not turn down. However, if I am false in my claims, then this revelation won't be completed and I will face death. And what happened, dear viewers? All the efforts and the tactics of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani turned in vain, and finally he died in 1908, 40 years before his opponent Mirza Sultan Ahmad. My respected brethren and sisters belonging to the Ahmadiyya religion, once again I humbly request you, and I request you again and again and again, to be kind enough to yourselves, to be kind enough to your parents, your siblings, your children, Do read the scriptures of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani with open eyes and open mind and get to the truth before it is too late. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you very much, Sister Saiba. I'm a great admirer of yours. When I joined this forum about 1 year ago, I was nil about the Qadianiyat. I didn't know about it. But they say that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So about 1 year ago, I took the very first step and I learned you from you, all the people who have joined our stream here, Kashif Saab and Baidullah Bhai and then Shamsuddin Bhai, everybody, that today I'm able to conduct this program about this girl. Ladies and gentlemen, Sister Saba has posed 10 questions. Before going to our participants here who have joined our stream, I would summarize the lecture today in my own words, in simple words, so that then we will go to our participants and take their comments. And then we will take the questions from our highly esteemed guests if they have joined. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a very wonderful lecture given by Sister Saiba, Pai Saiba. I would summarize Ghulam Ahmad, as far as I know, at the age of 46, he had a crush on a very young lady by the name of Muhammadi Begum, as Sister Saiba told in her lecture, who happened to be daughter of Ahmad Beg, and he was the follower of Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani asked her father to marry her to himself, which he refused. Ghulam Ahmad announced a prophecy. I would like to tell you, our participants who have just joined, that he prophesied two prophecies. The first one I'm going to mention, that she will be married to him because Allah had married her to him and no one had power to turn away from that becoming true. He offered bribes of estate and wealth to Ahmad Bey. When it didn't work, he begged for his piety. As Bashir Ahmad will agree with me, because these people are more expert on this Qadianiyat than me. Then he brought family pressure and finally made threats. The first prophecy of marriage to Muhammadi Begum actually failed. Ladies and gentlemen, the second prophecy is very interesting. Ahmad Beg did not budge from his position and married his daughter to an ordinary soldier. And then Ghulam Ahmad prophesied that the husband of Muhammadi Begum, he will die soon and would be married to him since their marriage had taken place in the heavens. And he fixed a 3 years period for the death of the soldier, husband of this lady, of this beloved lady rather. 22 years later, Ghulam Ahmad died, but the soldier lived for another 40 years. If Kashif Bhai and Bashir Sahab agree with me, and if I am not wrong, and she lived even longer. The second prophecy of marriage to Muhammadi Begum also failed. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just summarized the lecture in my own words, and I again pay my thanks to Pai Saba for telling us so informative lecture. And as I said, I have learned
Jazakallah.
a lot from Sister Saiba, and because the way she unfolds the hidden stories of Qadianiyat, it's very interesting. Her way of expression, that's very wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, I would go to Kashif Saab and then Bashir Bhai and all our participants one by one. First of all, Kashif Bhai, I think, joined us, and I can see the letter M. I think this is Muhammad Afzal Saab from California. First of all, I would like to go to Kashif Saab and take his comments. Ji Kashif Saab, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Doctor, that you have given me this opportunity to give my comments upon this very good lecture of today by our very respectable Dr. Pai Spirit Saiba. Mashallah, Dr. Pai's Spirit has always been delivering very informative lectures in regard to infidelity of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani. And her lectures contain authentic references from Qadiani books, which not only deify Qadianiyat, but also show true devilish phase of Mirza Qadiani. And today, Dr. Pius Spirit once again showed cruel face of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, how he tried to entrap a pious young lady and how he threatened her family. But things further revealed uh, how Mirza Qadiani's claims turned to be wrong as he gave false revelations about Muhammadi Begum and her family. So it's really needed to convey this expression of infidelity of Qadianiyat to everyone, including those who do not understand Urdu. And Dr. Pai Spirit is very much commendable for she has arranged this English lecture to reveal this infidelity to the people of globe who mostly understand English and they are not well versed in Urdu or even they don't know about Urdu. So she has put very right and authentic questions today. Even those 10 questions you talked about, Dr. Sab, and you gave a review of those questions as well. So she has put very right and authentic questions that must be taken into account and must be considered and Qadianis must have concern about those lectures and they have to revisit their religious beliefs. And I'm sure if any Qadiani brother who is in search of truth and righteousness, he will find the truth and he will say goodbye to this infidelity. And it's very much needed by our Qadiani brothers to go through this lecture and to even look upon the questions Dr. Paispit Saiba has just put today. And thank you so much. I don't want to give don't want to take a lot of time today because other brothers are always also over here. And Dr. Paispira Seba, again, I pay my salute, applause, and all my appreciations to you for this very good lecture. Very well done. Thank you so much.
Jazakallah, bro. Jazakallah.
Thank you for your valuable comments, Kashif Saab. Now we will go to with the IDM. I think it is Muhammad Afzal Saab. I think yes, Muhammad Afzal Saab. I think he's off the mic, so I will go to Bashir Saab. Kidda, our the very nice friend. Yes, Bashir Saab. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum bhai, ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ?
Walaikum salam ji. Walaikum salam.
So today's in English, so I'm in my natural element. So what we have here with the case of Muhammadi Begum is a classic case of village politics, you know, of desi politics, you know, people asking to marry someone's daughter in a disrespectful way, right? Do you agree, brother? In our culture, you can also disrespect a family if you go to their house and ask for a rishta when you know they're not going to give it to you. Do you agree, brother?
Exactly, exactly.
It's very
Yes, yes,
so,
yes,
This
that's
is so
right.
unethical.
right. So I had a cousin who had a fight with the Murabbi, not a physical fight, a verbal fight. He had a beef with the local Murabbi. So how does he get back at him? How does he get revenge? He goes to his house and he asks for his daughter's rishta, for his son. Well, this is an impossibility, an impracticability. It's not even considered because my cousin was of low character. So of course the daughter of the Murabbi is they're not gonna marry your son, bro. It's not gonna happen, bro. But he did it as an act of revenge, and this happens in the village. So from an outside perspective, from America, we don't really have these villages. So we don't know what the politics are. So if Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, he claims to be Hakam and Adil, or he claims to be this and he claims to be that, but why is he seeking revenge for his triple niece and their family not wanting to marry him? Why is he seeking revenge? Why is he spamming? You know, so we have a thing on the internet called trolling. Why is he trolling them? What is the character of your prophet if he's trolling his own family publicly? So, of course, you guys have seen my brother Huram Shah, and the only reason he came on social media was to attack me. And the Ahmadiyya movement allowed him to do it. They gave him the approval to do it. secret approval, backroom approval, not front room approval. So it's the same thing. He started attacking me, and I said the same thing to him. I said some of the same things to him. So he says, "Oh my God, Bashir mentioned my wife." I said, "Oh, it's is that a problem if I mention your wife, who's also my cousin, who's also an Ahmadi, who I'm also hoping they become Muslim?" He says, "Yeah, that's a problem." I'm like, "What about Mirza Ghulam Ahmad? What about what he did to his triple niece, and how he took it to the newspapers, and he was predicting death, and he was predicting she would be widowed. You know how bad it is for a woman to be widowed? How disrespectful, not disrespectful, how embarrassing of a lifestyle that would be for a woman to be widowed and never be married again, or someone else would take her in and abuse her." So these are the issues with Muhammadi Begum, with Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. And let's not forget, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said uh, it was a sign for Muslims. He said Muhammadi Begum would be a sign for Muslims, and it would cause Muslims to join Qadianis, which it didn't happen. It never happened. So this guy is the village uncle who's out of control. He's drinking tonic wine, eating nutmeg and opium. He's on drugs the whole day. He never gives us azan. This guy never gave azan. How could he ever lead the prayer? The first step for a kid to lead the prayer is first to say the azan. Then you get practice. Then you can lead Zuhr and Asr, as practice. So this is the story. Thank you for your time today. Back to you, brother Summer Rizvi.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your nice comments and valuable comments, rather. I think we don't have any more participants, but before going to the questioners, I would like to repeat the questions. And for the participants, our highly respected brother, Bashir Sahab has actually referred to one of the hadiths. I would like to comment it because there may be many actually participants. This question may rise: what is hakaman muqsitan? Actually, brother Bashir referred to a hadith which you can read in the hadith book Sahih Bukhari 2476. Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam la taqumu sa'a hatta yanzila fikum ibn Maryam hakaman muqsitan فيكسر الصليب ويقتل الخنزير ويضع الجزية ويفيد المال حتى لا يقبله أحد. The English translation is: Allah's messenger said, the hour will not be established until the son of Mary descends amongst you as a just ruler. He will break the cross, kill the pigs, and abolish the jizya tax. Money will be in abundance so that nobody will accept it as charitable gift. This is actually from the Sahih Bukhari 2476. Our highly esteemed brother, our highly esteemed brother actually referred to this hadith. So I thought it would be better if I share the reference number of this hadith. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to go to the questioners if there are any questioner. And Shamsuddin Bhai, you can take anybody if he's in the panel, and he can ask the question. But before going to the questioners, I would like to repeat the questions as far as I remind. Why did Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani fail in his prophecies? As I mentioned, two prophecies. Did he falsify the words of Almighty? When inspired, La tabdila li kalimatillah, why did it change? What about the promises of the misfortune? It was reportedly destined. What happened to the destiny? So our sister Saiba raised about 10 questions. If anybody from the Qadianiya, they can join us, and they can, if they would like to reply or give the answer to Sister Saiba, she's over here. Shamsuddin Bhai, you can take the question, please. Thank you. Yes, we have a message from Kashif Saab that admin is not connected to you. Okay. I got it. So I don't know if Sister Saba has control of the panel. Anybody there, please?
I think Dr. Saab, he has been disconnected because of some network issues. So I
Network.
think Afzal Saab is over here, I think, if I'm not wrong, and we may take some comments from him as well.
G, please go proceed, please.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum.
I'm for Dishan Adil, not Afzal. ठीक है? और my views
Yes,
about
spell out this answer.
Dr. Saiba is, first of all, after a long time, I heard English lecture on Qadiani cult after a long time, and very comprehensive, very informative in English language. Um, that's all.
Thanks, brother. I would like to ask you, you are from Pakistan or from abroad, please?
I am from Pakistan, Karachi, city Karachi.
Ah, it's very nice. It's very nice. Do you have any question? At Sister Saib asked about 10 questions. You
No, I
can,
have no
you want to
questions.
ask any question?
No,
Right.
sir,
Okay.
I have no questions.
Okay. Thank you very much. And we hope that you will also join next time. We have the IDS. Proceed, please.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum salam.
Dr. Sabit Sikandar here from Australia. I just came in your live stream and just saw your topic, which is which is about the revelations of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani regarding Muhammadi Begum. So when I read it, a thing just clicked in my mind. Today, when we look at the modern world, everyone is talking about the rights of women and gender discrimination and what we call it, harassment. Yeah, this is a very hot topic nowadays. So don't you guys think that the way in which Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani created uh, 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 the household members of Muhammadi Begum and all these prophecies and all these things, and especially that propaganda machine which Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani was running against this lady and his family, don't you think that it was a classical example of women harassment and gender based discrimination 100 years back? I just want all the panel members to shed some light on it. Thank you very much.
Skandar Saab, thank you very much. You have come across the oceans and you have joined our stream today. And we welcome you that you please join our stream next time also. Yes, definitely we will agree with you. And I think Sister Saba has joined the stream, and we will put this question to Sister Saba and take her comments also, please.
Jazakallah, he has very well pointed out this is a sort of harassment, because harassment is any act or any behavior that can make a person uncomfortable or distressed. So this is what Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani planned to do. So we can rightly declare this as sexual harassment as well. I'm totally convinced.
And I want to add one thing over here, as our brother Skandar talked about this harassment situation at the moment and how this thing is prevailing right now at the global level. But one thing we should not forget that 1400 years ago, our Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also gave definite rights to the women, and he also commanded us to not make anything mandatory for women other than her own will. And I think Mirza Qadiani denied and defied even all those commandments of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well. So this new global modern world is giving this concept today of non-harassment and to take care of the women. But this concept was given by our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I think the biggest sin Mirza Ghulam Qadiani has done over here, and he denied and deified even the commandments of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yes, exactly, brother. I will agree with you. Along with this, I'll add some more points into it. Now, today, when we look at Jamaat Ahmadiyya, most of their propagation it's in West, as per which I mean they claim. So on one side, they put up poster that we love for all and hated for none. Yeah, this is their common so-called motto or propaganda slogan. So now, I mean, when they, I mean, put this thing in front of the Western world, who are, I mean, nowadays, who claim to be the biggest, promoters of women harassment, don't, I mean, they put this character of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani in front of them. I mean, the things which he did with Muhammadi Begum. I mean, because I mean, for me, it's a clear contradiction. Yeah, on one side, you are saying that we have got a slogan which is love for all and hatred for women. Yeah, and we are operating in the Western world. We are propagating in the Western world, and on the other side, the person who founded our mission, he, I mean, did this and this and this against an innocent woman of that time.
Definitely, Brother Sikandar, you have given a very right point over here. And this point can be very convincing for the Protestants and the Christians who are just talking about this right of women at this era of time. And it is a need of time to convey this true expression of infidelity of Mr. Qadiani to everyone, because the other world, the other non-Muslim world, is always asking us that for, perhaps we are doing some cruelty towards Qadianiyat, but they must know that we are not the false ones. It is actually Mirza Qadiani who was a false-faced person and who made all false claims. And definitely, you are very right that these things can be put into the account, and then that can be taken in front of them, that they must know this the reality of Qadiania, that what slogan of love they are putting in and what they are doing opposite to it. You are very right, brother.
Yes, brother, because this is the thing which was in mind, yeah. Because I mean, instead of just putting your, or representing your bright side of love for all and hatred for none in front of West to propagate them and capture them for your chanda and all these things, you should put both the pictures. That yes, here we say love for all, hatred for none, and on the other side, our founder, he did this and this and this with Muhammadi Begum. He, defamed her. He, I mean, said this and this about her. He, published vague prophecies about her. So, I mean, both the things, they should be presented in front of the Western world, especially when you say, I mean, in their own terms, that we are representing Hakiki Islam or true Islam.
Yes, brother Skandar, actually, first we should understand what is harassment. As we know, harassment means actually any unwelcome sexual advance, or you can say request for sexual favors, or other verbal or written communication, or physical conduct of a sexual nature. If we definitely, all of the lecture today falls under this definition, and it is a very clear, you can say clear cut, actually example and instance of harassment. On the other hand, apart from this, we see that in the religion of Islam, women have the right to education and enjoy all of the spiritual rights that men have. The greatest right given to a Muslim woman is economical independence. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, he championed the rights of women. Thus, Islam is the first actually religion to give women rights of inheritance. So, I would agree with you that it is a very good example of harassment. And this was my comment. Then we will go to Bashir Saab. He would like to comment, please. Bashir Saab. Assalamu alaikum. Am I audible, Skandar Saab?
Yes, Dr. Saab, I can hear you.
Yes, you are rightly audible.
If Bashir Saab is in our stream or he has left, I don't know, because I can see his ID.
He might be busy somewhere else, I think, because he's visible
Anyone?
over here.
Skandar Saab, would you like to ask any more question, please?
No, Doctor, but if you allow me, can I add one more thing into it?
Oh, definitely, sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Doctor. Doctor, now, I mean, the thing which you have just mentioned, if we see this case, you have just said that Islam gave all the rights and all the liberations to women 1400 years back. Yeah. Now, if we, I mean, analyze closely Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani and the issue of Muhammadi Begum, this thing will be revealed upon us that after this propaganda, usually I think about this thing, yeah, that after this propaganda, it would be hard for Muhammadi Begum to go out. It would be hard for Muhammadi Begum to, socialize with other women or with other people. Yeah, it would be hard for her to, do many certain things. Yeah, after this propaganda of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. So Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, he actually tried to malign that freedom, that liberation which Islam gave to Muhammadi Begum as well as all the women 1400 years back. This is another perspective of this thing.
I I I think
Hello, Dr. Sab, I have just concluded myself.
yeah. Dr.
Hello,
Sabag, you
sorry.
were
My mic was actually muted. Yes, you are right, Skandar Sahib. As you see that in the Holy Quran, Almighty Allah says in Surah Nisa, I think the verse is 34. In Arabic, I would recite then English translation. Ar-rijal kawwamuna ala nisai bima fadalallahu ba'dahum ala ba'z wa bima anfaqu min amwalihim. Fasalihatu kanitatu hafizatu lil ghaibi بما حفظ الله واللاتي تخافون نشوزهن فعظهن فاحجرهن في المزاج واضربوهن فإن أطعنكم فلا تبغوا عليهن سبيلا إن الله كان عليا كبيرا. I actually recited this verse to highlight that Islam's give the equal rights as far as spiritual aspect of the religion is actually concerned. But on the other hand, as far as discipline is concerned, when the discipline is concerned, man, Almighty Allah says, "Ar-rijal kawamuna al nisa," that men are in charge of women by right of what Allah has given one over the other, and what they spend for maintenance from their wealth. So righteous women are devotedly obedient, guarding in the husband's absence what Allah would have them guard. So, I mean to say that spiritually they are equal. But as far as discipline is concerned, then men have a one darja. They have a one rank above the woman. Yes, Kandasa?
Yes, Doctor.
Would you please comment on this verse also? As I think this is 34 number verse of Surah An-Nisa, the chapter number 4 of the Holy Quran.
Yes, Doctor. This is the thing which towards which I tried to point it out. Thank you so much for quoting the verse as well. But 1400 years back, Islam gave so many, you know, liberties and liberations to a woman that he can, live in the society of, not just live, but live in a, very respectable way. But I think if I look towards this case of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani and Muhammadi Begum, I think that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani tried to, malign that freedom as well, that liberty as well, which Islam gave to Muhammadi Begum and all the other women. And this is clearly indicating through this verse as well, which you have just quoted. Just look at the character of Mirza. Just look how he, behaved in those days, especially with regard to Muhammadi Begum and his, so-called propaganda and prophecies machine. And look at that verse, completely opposite.
Yes, you are right, definitely. Actually, I can recall one of the hadiths of the Holy Prophet. As you know that on this forum, we actually extend the verses from the Holy Quran and the hadiths. Actually, our basic aim is to convey the message of Almighty Allah and of our Prophet. I can recall one hadith on this topic, as you pointed out. عن أسيد بن أبي أسيد الطابي عن أمرات من المبايات قالت that one of the Sahabiya said كان فيما أخذ علينا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في المعروف التي أخذ علينا ألا نعصي في ألا نخمش وجها ولا ندو ويلا ولا نشق جيبا وألا نشر شعرا. It's a very beautiful hadith as your topic is concerned. As I pointed out, the verse number 34 of the Surah An-Nisa, that Islam is the religion which gives all of the basic rights to the woman. As the Holy Prophet said, a woman who had taken a pledge of allegiance at the hand of the Messenger of Allah. Actually, one woman said, among the matters in respect of which we gave the Messenger of Allah the pledge not to disobey him in any maruf. What is maruf? All that Islam ordains. As we know from the Holy Quran, verse 60 of the 12th number chapter, was that we should not slap our faces, bewail, tear out clothes, up and tear our hair in grief. Actually, this is hadith in Riyadul Salihin 1665. So, I would like to say briefly that Islam is the most beautiful. At one place, Shakespeare said, the most beautiful lest. Also, grammatically, this is not a you can say good sentence, but Shakespeare has written in his one of the novels that Islam. I'm saying Islam is the most beautifulest religion on the face of the earth. It gives all of the rights to the woman, and at the same time, the other aspect of the coin is that it gives all the ordainments and instructions how to run the family. So, actually, this was my comments, Kansab. Thank you.
Doctor, will you please allow me to crack a joke as well here?
Yes, if it does not cross the limits.
No, inshallah, it will not. Doctor,
Yes,
you have
please.
just quoted a sentence from Shakespeare and you said that it's grammatically incorrect. Now, if we look at the life of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, we will say a lot of English revelations which were revealed on him, and they were also grammatically incorrect. Yeah. So here we have got a common thing between both the personalities. Sifte Mushtarik. Yeah. On the basis of this, can one conclude that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani was Zilli Baruzi Shakespeare as well? Because
Yes,
all the
very nice, very
Qadianiyat, it's
yes, yes.
standing on Zil, Baruz, and Istara.
Well,
So,
Dr. Sir, I want to add one thing and then leave. I would beg pardon to leave because it's getting much time.
Yes, please.
I have a last message for the Ahmadi brothers and sisters. It's a brief verse in English. Friends, hope for the best while you are alive. Jump into experience while you are alive. Think and think while you are alive. If you don't break your ropes while you are alive, do you think someone else will do it afterwards? You will simply end up with an apartment in the city of death if you find nothing now. If you make love with the divine now, in the next life, you will have the face of satisfied desire. So think and think when you are alive and hope for the best while you are alive. Thank you very much. Jazakallah.
Jazakallah, Dr. Shaiba. It has been again a very good message through this poetry you have given to the Qadiani brothers. And Dr. Shabashab, you just narrated an ayah of Surah Nisa, and then I just remember one ayah, 19 ayah of this Surah Nisa, where also Allah said, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu la yahillu lakum an tarisun nisa karha. That it does mean that, oh, you who believe, it's not lawful for you that you should take women as heritage against their will. So there is a clear message of Quran that you cannot take a woman uh, forcefully as a heritage of yours. So Mirza Qadiani has really decided. So I just wanted to share this ayah here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We would like to conclude our program today, and we expect that Skandar Saab and all other participants will join again next time, inshallah. And at the end, I would like to take comments of Kashif Saab, Skandar Saab, and Bashir Saab, please. Kashif Saab, your concluding comments, please, and then Bashir Saab and Skandar Saab.
Dr. Shab, I think what Dr. Pai Spirit today has narrated about Qadianiyat and in reference to the Muhammadi Begum and the character of Mirza Qadian, I think it's very obvious and very clarified from our side. And I do appreciate Dr. Sahiba and Shamash Bhai and all the team over here. And I think this good work of conveying this message at global level for the people and the personas who was not well versed in Urdu. So mostly in this global world, most of the people know English, and I think such type of lectures should be continued on regular basis. And Vice President Sahaba is really commendable, and all of you, even you have just conducted this session today. So thank you so much for everyone to everyone, and may Allah give us the strength to continue this good work. Thank you so much, sir.
Kashif Saab, I will request you that you please summarize in Urdu as well, if you would like to, because we have many participants who only understand Urdu language. If it is feasible, please.
जी डॉक्टर साहब मैंने ये कहा कि आज का जो लेक्चर है वो ज़ाहिर है बड़ा अहम है और ये हमारे जो भी जितने भी हमारे सुनने वाले हैं जो हमारे दोस्त अहबाब हैं वो उर्दू में तो सुनते हैं जो लेक्चर्स होते हैं और मोहम्मदी बेगम का जो तज़किरा है वो भी हमारे बहुत सारे सुनने वालों ने सुना है कि किस तरह मिर्ज़ा ग़ुलाम कादियानी ने ज़बरदस्ती एक मासूम और नौजवान लड़की से एक परहेज़गार लड़की से ज़बरदस्ती शादी करना चाहिए और किस तरह से उसके सारे ख़ानदान को थ्रेट किया और खौफ उनको दिलाने की कोशिश की और उन्हें अपनी झूठे जो इल्हामात होते थे उसके मुताबिक बताया कि किस तरह के वो मतलब वो नुकसानात उठा सकते हैं, लेकिन उन सारी चीज़ों में ना तो शादी हुई मिर्ज़ा ग़ुलाम कादियानी की और ना ही वो सारी जो रेवोल्यूशन उसने दी थी, जो उसने थ्रेट दिए थे वो पूरे हुए। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि डॉक्टर स्पिरिट साहिबा ने ये सब आज इंग्लिश में बहुत अच्छे अंदाज में बयान किया और इसकी ज़रूरत थी क्योंकि जो उर्दू समझते हैं वो तो शायद पहले सुनते रहते हैं, लेकिन जो एक एक पूरी दुनिया के लेवल पे जो उर्दू नहीं समझ सकते, उनको भी ये पैगाम अच्छे तरीके से गया है। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि ये जारी रहना चाहिए ताकि हर एक को पता चले कि जुल्म हम नहीं कर रहे, जुल्म कादियानियत कर रही है। वो जो एक कुफ़र है मिर्ज़ा ग़ुलाम कादियानी का वो सामने आ रहा है। तो आप सबका बहुत शुक्रिया डॉक्टर साहिबा कि आप सब ने मिलके आज एक इतना अच्छा प्रोग्राम जो है वो कंडक्ट किया। जी शुक्रिया।
Thank you very much. Now we'll go to Skandar Saab and take his comments in English language because basically the program was in English. Yes, Skandar Saab and then Bashir Saab.
Ji, Dr. Saab, I would like to say that the limerick which my sister just presented in the end, it just nailed the message of this whole transmission and this whole stream. If- And it is for Ahmadis. I'm not referring, towards the Murabbis or their Khalifas and whatsoever ranks they have. It is for common Ahmadis. Mukhlas Ahmadi. They use the term Mukhlas Ahmadi. So this is for the Mukhlas Ahmadis. They should consider about these facts. They should consider about these things. Instead of just giving chandas to the Jamaat and getting uh, dumped after the propaganda of Murabbis, they should consider and think about themselves. Because I just said that Islam gives so much liberties to women. Along with this thing, Islam also gave us liberty to think, to act on our free will. And this liberty is for all the human beings. You are also included in it. Just please think about it with your own free will. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you very much for your comments. It is about an hour. And Bashir Saab, are you still here? Would you like to give your concluding remarks, please?
Yeah, so this is more than sexual harassment. This is like defamation level stuff here, you know. And when I first started reading about Ahmadiyya, 2003, 2004, critically, I read about Ahmadiyya as a kid, but all we had was philosophy of the teaching of Islam, Jesus in India, that was in English. So when I first started reading about Ahmadiyya or Qadianiyat, I read about Muhammadi Begum and I was shocked, blown away. I rejected them just on that. Just on that. There's nothing else to look after. After Muhammadi Begum, if you're still reading, I don't know what to tell you. It should be a case closed after Muhammadi Begum. But you know, Dr. Rizvi, the problem is everyone who's an Ahmadi is benefiting from it. You know, some people get asylum. If the poor Ahmadis in Pakistan are looking for asylum, the rich Ahmadis don't want to leave Pakistan. Not all of them, some maybe, but the rich Ahmadis have already benefited from Ahmadiyya. If you joined the military and you were an Ahmadi, you got special treatment. If you're a politician, you got special treatment. If you were an Ahmadi in Pakistan in the 50s, 60s, 70s, you got special treatment. Even my dad got a job at Wabda in the 70s, which is really hard, and a wife. So everyone who's an Ahmadi is benefiting in some way. The Murabbis, you know, most of the Murabbis are illiterate or borderline illiterate. These guys couldn't work a job. They couldn't, if you had them work somewhere 5 days, they couldn't do it. You know, when I was in Rabwa, someone told me once, "Je banda khota bhi hove, kehne murabbi ban ja, you know, roti te milegi." See what I mean? So everyone is in Ahmadiyyat for a reason. They're not just Ahmadi because they read and they believe it. My brother, my dad promised to give him the family business. So he's an Ahmadi because he was given a family business. He was given a business. He was given all these things. You know, I have some cousins who say my dad is such a good person. Well, why? Because he gave you things. You know, some Ahmadis tell me your dad is amazing human being. I said why? He goes, oh, because he let me borrow 10,000 and never asked for it back. So this is why people are in Ahmadiyya. It's not literature. It's not belief. They benefited. They got a job. They got some money. They got a woman. You know, there's a white guy who converted a Damon Stengel. We call him Demon Strangle on Twitter. He just married a Pakistani girl. It was his dream to have a brown girl. This is also a thing. You know, white people want a brown girl, and they don't. This is an easy way to get it. There's another guy, Noonan, Dr. Rizvi. Have you heard of Noonan?
Yes,
Michael
yes,
Fisher Noonan.
I know.
Okay, he had a fetish for brown women, and he got some Ahmadi woman pregnant, had some kids with her, neglected her, didn't want to pay her. You know, in America, you have to pay child support. In Pakistan, I don't think child support exists, right? But in the West, it does, and they rob men and they penalize men and they give women the advantage, right? So Noonan had to pay child support for his two children, two boys. I'd be happy to raise them, and he didn't have a job. So his solution is become an Ahmadi, become a Murabbi without training, no training. He got training from a Murabbi 1-to-1, and we know what that means. You know, it's also sexual, right? So Noonan got another Ahmadi woman, had a bunch of kids with her. He never paid child support because on the books, how much money does he make? Not much, because the Ahmadiyya movement pays his bills. But so technically, he benefited because he was able to get out of not paying child support. They gave him a job. He doesn't have any skills. You know, he can't type fast. He doesn't have a business degree. He doesn't have an accounting degree. He doesn't have an engineering degree. He doesn't want to be a plumber, a mechanic, or a blue collar worker. So he joins that's his solution. So he benefited from it. In fact, we even found a German ex-Nazi tank captain who joined Ahmadiyyat and benefited from it. So all of this is about benefit. How does it benefit you? The Mirza family benefits. You know, Fazli Umar Hospital is a private hospital. Who gets all the money? Where does all the money go? It's not a government hospital. It's not controlled. The funds don't go to the government or come from the government and vice versa. So this is why Amdi's like Yo-Yo Han and Jerry and these other guys and Hurram Shah and Damon Stengel and Noonan and Mirza Masroor, they don't say anything because they're making money off of it. They have benefit from it. You know, in the West, we call the Ahmadiyya movement a Pakistani cultural club or a Punjabi country club. Because that's why they go. The only reason that they go to their temple is because everyone there is Pakistani and they feel comfortable. Whereas if you're Muslim and you go to the masjid, it's maybe 10% Pakistani. It could be 50% African American, 20% Afghani, 10% Indonesian. It's all mixed up because, you know, in fact, there's a masjid 10 miles from my house where they speak Persian only, even the khutbah. Khutbah Jummah is in Persian. So Ahmadiyyat works and people don't question it because they're benefiting financially or in some way. So that's the story, brother.
Thank you very much. Once again, I pay thanks to all the participants who listened to our conversation and gave their valuable comments. They joined our stream and asked questions and listened to us. At the end, I will offer a supplication and then we will close our stream, inshallah. But I think no Qadiani Murabbi has joined our stream. Anyhow, I will recite the Majlis Kafara. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهب لنا من أمرنا رشدا آمين اللهم اجعل خيرا مما يظنون واغفر لنا ما لا يعلمون ولا تؤاخذني بما يقولون آمين يا رب العالمين لا إله إلا الله العظيم الحليم لا إله إلا الله رب العرش العظيم لا إله إلا الله رب السماوات ورب الأرض ورب العرش الكريم آمين يا رب العالمين اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا باطلا باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. Once again, thanks to all the participants. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.